What is going on, everybody? Another week has come and gone, which brings us back to another Friday, another episode of my News Radar. We're going to start things off with some ChromeOS news. ChromeOS is about to get several new features that I think people are going to be relatively happy to finally be getting. For a long time, part of the Google Photos app you might already have on your smartphone has been the ability to make little movies out of the photos and the videos there on your device. Now, it's not a fully featured video editor, but it works well enough for something very, very quick. Well, something like this is coming to ChromeOS, and maybe even a little better than this. You can see here in this screenshot, they've got several different clips down here that they're arranging chronologically. So you're going to move different clips around. You're going to be able to trim clips down inside that chronological order, as well as editing the appearance of each of those little snippets, as well as you can see there in that screenshot, because Google is bringing a new version of their movie editor directly into ChromeOS. Now, there's actually more things you can do here from this little bit here. You can see templates where they selected a friendship movie, then they are shown a list of faces, which Google Photos automatically identifies via AI. It's an awesome feature that I love to be able to use. I can go into my photos and search for my wife's name and automatically see pictures with her face in it. It's fantastic. So they're going to be able to grab the faces that you're selecting and then automatically create a little movie with photos of the two of these people in it, videos featuring both of them, so forth and so on, and add their own little music to it. Of course, you can go in and tweak this stuff on your own after the fact. Now, granted, some people will look at this and say, well, I want a proper video editor, a proper movie maker. This seems very, very basic, and you're right, it is. But this is ChromeOS we're talking about, and Google is doing something smart here. They're not trying to create an Adobe Premiere competitor for their Chromebooks. They're making something that people are going to use, something that they're going to use on their Chromebook, something quick and basic and simple. And there are more fully fledged video editors via the Android Play Store. Something like CapCut probably has a lot more features than this does, and theoretically that would be totally usable on your Chromebook. But if you want something built into the Photos app, something quick and simple and fairly polished, I would imagine, this is going to be a good option. But we're not stopping there, because they're adding to the Gallery app the ability to sign, edit, fill out forms, so forth and so on PDFs. You can actually see the image, the screenshot down here. You can see exactly what we're talking about. This is something that more and more Chromebooks are having styluses either supported or actually packed in with them. This makes a ton of sense. A lot of people are doing work on their Chromebooks now. So the ability to sign a PDF right there with a nice little stylus or with your finger, presumably, is going to be really good to have. How about screencasting? Record your screen, actually transcribe on that, share that around. A lot of telemeetings, remote meetings, and so forth happening now. So this is a really important feature to have. And then their new Cursive app is going to allow you to quickly take notes, again, on those stylus-enabled devices, and then copy and paste your notes into a PDF or so forth and so on. So a lot of really nice features, not just for fun stuff like creating a quick movie, but also for getting things done. Google continues to roll out more and more features into their operating system, which I think is wildly underrated. Now, we've talked a little bit here lately about Samsung having to cut some of their overall sales volume projections for this year because their mid-range, their A-series phones are just not selling as well as they would like. Now, something else we talked about in regard to this is the fact that while they're cutting their A-series, they're hoping that their premium phones will sell really well. We've talked about the fact that Apple's phones are not really being affected by the current economic situation going on, because premium phones are bought by people that have more money. So when the economy turns to crap, the poor people, unfortunately, the people that tend to be, this is going to sound super disparaging, you know what I mean. I'm not saying poor people are the only ones that buy mid-range phones, but the people that buy the $500 and down phones tend to be people that are quicker to take an impact when the economy turns to crap. The people buying $1,000 phones tend to have a bit more of a cushion when bad things happen, and they continue to buy phones even when inflation is through the roof. Hopefully I got through that without offending too many people. Why am I talking about this? Well, I'm talking about it because Samsung has reported record-breaking Q2 sales driven by S22 sales. The S21 did not do that well. The S22 is selling really, really well. So while Samsung is not doing great with their A-series phones, their premium phones are doing really well. They're continuing to sell, in fact, better than versus year over year, kind of underlining what I've been talking about here on this channel in a couple of different videos. If we take a look at this table here, you will see Q2 of 2022, and you'll see this big number here, 77.20. Now this is in the trillions, but if we move this over to dollars, we're at $59.2 billion, which is a lot of money. And if we look here at MX, that is their mobile division, the mobile experience, that accounted for 29 of the 77. That is a large percentage. That is their mobile division carrying Samsung in a big way. And namely, they say here in this article, the S22 series was much more desirable than their predecessors last year. You also have to factor in that their foldable phones have sold much better each year that they've been on the market, and they're continuing to sell better and better. So yes, while Samsung is selling fewer overall total phones, like the actual raw number, they're selling fewer cheap ones and more of the expensive ones. So at the end of the day, they're still making more money now than they were 1 year ago, even with the stuff we've talked about. Let's shift gears now and give you guys a big update on a phone we've talked about several times on this channel, the Motorola Razer 2022. We've talked about how the prices are rumored to be coming down to only be $100 away potentially from the Z Flip 4, but there's been one part of the specs of this device that have been rumored for a while that I think has been stuck in all of our heads, a number which is going to be updated post haste because we have an official word from Motorola. The 2800 milliamp hour battery that we've been hearing about, it's not going to happen. In fact, they have said here on Weibo that the Razer 2022 will in fact have a 3500 milliamp hour battery. That is a massive increase, 700 milliamp hours from the rumored specs that we had before. Now keep in mind that this thing is going to have a very large 120 hertz refresh rate screen, a very large cover display, and it's going to be running the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, the fastest chipset on the market. And the fact that the rumors were 2800 milliamp hour battery, we were all thinking this thing's battery life is going to be absolutely abysmal. Well, now at 3500, that actually makes it bigger than last year's Z Flip, although the Z Flip that is coming this year is rumored to be a little bit larger than that still, but this puts them much, much closer to parity with one another. Now, when he talks about excellent energy efficiency ratio, excellent power management, excellent battery life, that's going to remain to be seen because it's still a relatively small battery for such a big screen with a high refresh and a big cover display, but still they're calling it all-day battery, and that might be possible now, whereas before it wasn't going to be. I think we are setting ourselves up here to have a very interesting competition between the Z Flip 4 and the Moto Razr 2022 because now the specs are almost even across the board, but you can make the argument that the Razer has the better camera specs with that 50 megapixel primary, a 32 megapixel on the interior. When you look at the two of them together, let's look at this article here on GSM Arena. If the phone actually being held up, you could be forgiven for thinking that that actually was a Z Flip. Same chipset, similar size battery, and only probably going to be rumor being true about $100 apart. This is going to be really, really fun to watch. And finally, people in America have an alternative to the Z Flip if they want to buy a clamshell flip phone. I'm sure a lot of you people are very excited to see. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks to my YouTube members scrolling across the screen now. These are people that click that join button down below to help directly support the channel. If you did that, you are a hero to this channel. Thanks for watching, like I said, though, and don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.